Imagine for a moment being faced with a decision that could not only determine your destiny but the future of an entire people. Welcome to a narrative of intrigue and courage, where a voice rises above fear, and a queen confronts the powerful to write history. This is the timeless tale of Esther, a saga that teaches us that an act of bravery can change the course of history. Before we dive into this epic journey, I want to ask you to hit that powerful like button, as each like amplifies our story, and subscribe to the channel to not miss any fascinating details we will reveal together. This time, every detail is a piece of the puzzle that forms a vision of triumph and resilience, encouraging anyone to stand up against life's adversities. Just like Esther, each of us has the ability to face the giants threatening what we hold dear, and by carefully following every intricately crafted segment of this video, you will understand why the right time, the right strategy, and the right dose of courage can effectively shape the future. Now, get ready to be inspired by the story of a woman who became synonymous with strength and wisdom, proving that true leadership comes from the ability to act with conviction in critical moments. This is not just history, it's motivation in motion, exemplifying that bravery is within all of us, ready to be awakened. Follow every detail and see how a single decision can illuminate the darkness and lead to change. Are you ready? Let's go. The story of Esther begins now. Esther, the central biblical character of the book bearing her name, grew up in a complex and challenging period. She was raised in Persia, specifically in the fortress of Susa, an environment where Jews lived in exile and had no power or influence. Esther's life is marked by her humble origin and the absence of her parents, as she was adopted by her cousin Mordecai. From a young age, Esther stood out for her physical beauty and strength of character, a combination that would later lead her to the position of queen. Despite the luxuries and riches that came with her ascent, Esther remained altruistic and true to her Jewish values, a stance that would eventually put her in great danger. Her life in Susa, a hub of intrigue and court politics, demanded diplomacy and intelligence. Esther navigated these challenges with wisdom and grace, always remembering the lessons of humility and faith passed down by Mordecai. She faced the existential challenge of her people when confronted with Haman's decree proposing the annihilation of the Jews. One of the most impressive elements of Esther's personality is her courage. She was willing to sacrifice her own safety to save her people, demonstrating inner strength and unwavering conviction. Her social intelligence and ability to understand the nuances of power helped her plan a banquet where she would reveal Haman's true intentions to King Ahasuerus, requiring not only bravery but also a high level of cunning and strategy. Esther's life, therefore, was marked by a balance between adhering to her principles and the flexibility needed to adapt to a world that often was hostile to her and her people. She is recognized to this day as a symbol of strength, resilience, and faith. The Call of Esther. Esther's call to become the Queen of Persia was a mix of circumstance and destiny, intertwined with providential guidance. When King Ahasuerus decided to dismiss Queen Vashti for disobedience, he ordered a search throughout the kingdom to find young virgins and beauties who could be candidates for the new queen. Esther, known for her beauty and grace, ended up being one of the young women taken to the royal palace. Her entry into the competition may not have been voluntary, as the circumstances of the time left little room for personal choice, especially in decisions involving the king's orders. This may have caused hesitation and initial fears in Esther, as although the position of queen was highly prestigious, it also carried an immense weight of responsibility and danger. After all, being chosen meant an irreversible change in the course of her life, immersion in a world of political intrigues, and the constant need to maintain the monarch's approval. Esther, as a Jewish woman, may have also experienced internal conflict in being placed in a position to hide her identity and faith. However, she eventually accepted her role with a mix of resignation and strength, perhaps recognizing that there could be an opportunity for a higher purpose, as Mordecai suggested later when he spoke of the possibility that she had come to the royal position for such a time as this. With humility and wisdom, Esther advanced toward the possibility of becoming queen, and over time, what was initially hesitation was transformed into a clear purpose and a sense of mission that would eventually lead her to take courageous actions in favor of her people. She dedicated herself to meticulous preparation, not only winning the favor of Haggai, the eunuch in charge of the women, but also attracting the affection of King Ahasuerus himself, culminating in her selection as queen. The story of Esther concludes with a lasting impact that reverberates through Judaism and other cultures to this day. Esther's courageous actions and the clever turn of events resulted in the establishment of the Festival of Purim, a celebration that not only marks the salvation of the Jewish people in ancient Persia but also celebrates courage, faith, and cunning.